Annabelle from 2014 got a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. But what do I think about it? What up, y'all? Today we're going to be reviewing Annabelle from 2014. The Conjuring Last Rites comes out this Friday, so we're going across the whole entire Conjuring universe in the order of the timeline, and then at the end we are going to be doing some rankings and some tier lists as well. Here's the timeline of the Conjuring universe if you are interested or want to see these movies in order for yourselves. And we have already reviewed the first 3 movies in this universe if you want to check those out as well. So without further ado, let's get into the 4th movie on this timeline, Annabelle. It's directed by John R. Leonetti, and it stars Annabelle Wallis, Ward Horton, Alfre Woodard, and Tony Amendola. Set before the events of The Conjuring, a young couple experiences terrifying supernatural occurrences after acquiring a vintage doll that becomes the conduit for demonic forces. The film leans into a slow burn, late 1960s type of vibe, which I absolutely love that setting. I think it works very well for creepy dolls because obviously if you've seen older people, they are more likely to have a creepy doll in their house than anyone else. So, it makes sense. But not only that, that kind of atmosphere with the suburban and city life of that time kind of allows for a creepy, shadowy vibe to be going on, even though sometimes it does seem to be a little bit predictable at times. There's some jump scares that come up and you kind of know it's going to happen, but we'll talk about some specifics later with that. Annabelle Wallis delivers a pretty good role as Mia. Definitely does a good job, although I wouldn't take this job if my name was Annabelle. That's a little creepy. I don't know if I would do that, but hey, more power to you, Mia, or more power to you, Annabelle. Ward Horton as her husband, I think he does as good a job as he can with what's given to him. I definitely don't think it's his fault that it feels a little flat or wooden at times, because I think he did what was given to him the best he could. And the supporting roles also do a good job. I don't think anything's ruined or anything spectacular happens, but certainly worth it. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Mostly jump scares here with demonic imagery. There's some possession style sequences and a few moments like the elevator scene, which are pretty dope. And even that scene specifically is up there in the franchise as some of the best scenes. The scares they tend to try to go into more loud than like everlasting type of scares that will leave you thinking about it, but I don't think it's as bad as people like to say it is. This is not the strongest entry in the Conjuring universe, but I say it's more in the middle somewhere. And I definitely think it is worth a watch if you want to watch the Conjuring universe, because the lore, although most of the movie isn't really needed to really watch the later movies, but that end piece I think is actually pretty useful and interesting, especially for me. I love lore, so the way that ending flows into the next movie is, I think it's chef's kiss, but that's just me. I know a lot of people don't really care for that, but I think that's pretty dope. So for now on, there will be spoilers here if you have not seen Annabelle. Me personally, I recommend go watching it because I am a fan, but some people would say it's a stinker, so that's really up to you. So I think the story is actually pretty interesting with having Janice now be Annabelle and kill her parents here in this movie, so it does tie off straight off from that last movie, maybe like 14 years, where Janice grows up and under the name of Annabelle, of course, and then she's holding the doll that the couple has, and then her blood drips into that doll, and then she's able to possess that. I think that's pretty dope lore in my opinion, because I love lore, so it's pretty dope. And then how strange things start happening soon after, and it's very fascinating. Although I think the first act and the final act are better than that middle act. The middle act kind of seems to drag and is the only thing kind of taking this movie down. It starts to become predictable and, not as fascinating as the first act per se, because I really enjoy the first act, and the third act's okay. The only reason I like the third act is because after, all the issues are resolved with the family, I actually do like that part where Ed and Lorraine are interviewing the people who get the doll after them. So I think that's dope how it flows into the next movie, but hey, that's just me. And like I said, that elevator scene is one of the more memorable in this movie and even in this franchise. Pretty creepy laundry. We'll see them go back to a scary laundry room later in The Conjuring 2. I don't know. They got a thing for scary laundry rooms. But I think it's a pretty good scene on that, and also a pretty dope scene where the kid is drawing, or the kid, it's not actually the kid, it's Annabelle who's drawing these pictures. I think that's pretty creepy, because to be in her position and be like, okay, why is this kid drawing these pictures? There's no way he did that. But then at the back of your mind, you're trying to convince yourself that a kid did draw that, because you don't want to think Annabelle has found you and is drawing these pictures. So I think that's pretty creepy. And I do want to say it does come predictable. Like, one of the things I remember me predicting every single time I watch this is that when the husband goes to make that popcorn for him and his wife to watch the movie, he comes back, she's asleep, so he turns off the stove. For some reason, leaves the popcorn on there, which is, that's a rookie mistake. You never do that. You got to put it away. But we all knew that it was going to end up, like, catching on fire somehow. I mean, that's a classic in the horror movies, to leave popcorn on the stove and it catches on fire. I mean, look at Scream intro. I mean, things like that. So it does. That's the examples of how it becomes predictable, but it doesn't ruin the movie at all. I mean, sometimes predictable is fun, especially in a cursed object movie like this. This is one to shut off your brain and just watch. It's interesting. I don't get the hate for this. 28% on Rotten Tomatoes is a little overkill, all right? Let's just calm down. 28%, are we serious? We're serious it's that low? You're saying this is as good? I'm going to talk about this again. You're saying this got me heated, bro. Got me heated. This movie is not as bad as people say it is. This franchise as a whole. Hold on. Let me sit up. Let me get a drink of water. Y'all got me hot, bro. Alright. This whole entire universe, it gets so much hate, I feel like, because it is popular. It is one of the most popular franchises right now. But people like to hate on it a lot, try to ask so much from it. But it's good at its core. It's a scary object movie. Annabelle, it's a pretty terrifying character design on top of that. And it is pretty scary. And the lore building is one of the best in horror. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because this is one of my favorite franchises in all of horror. It might be a hot take, but the building of the lore throughout the whole franchise is a chef's kiss. I love it so much. I mean, the way, especially after you get through the Nun, the way that the lore starts to flow a little bit. I'm not a big fan of the Nun movies, but I do think the Nun 2 is better than the regular Nun. But as it starts to flow, I think the lore is amazing. And I mean, getting back to what I was saying, this got a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Final Destination from 2009 also got a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie is not on the same level as The Final Destination. You have to be out of your mind to believe that this movie is okay, maybe you guys like The Final Destination. Okay, I'm not hating on you, but in my opinion, this movie, if The Final Destination is 28%, this is a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is double as good as The Final Destination. Same with The Nun, which The Nun is worse than this movie, okay, but this movie is not a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not 28%. I mean, that's just my humble opinion, but I'm gonna drop the mic at that. Even though it's on the mic stand, I'm gonna drop it. So the characters and performances, like I said, I think they were all good across the board, except for the husband, who kind of felt a little wooden, but I feel that was his writing. He went to work. He was that cliche. This guy goes, he works hard. He's got to go on the work vacations. He's got to go away for 7 days and go here and do that and do that and do that. But he was a loving character, because you could tell how much he loved and cared for his wife and wanted to make sure she was comfortable, okay? And that was super cool. You're starting to see the passion come out for this movie. I really like this movie. It's nostalgia. It's whatever. I enjoy this movie at its core. And even while I'm speaking this, I'm going up in my pickle rating even higher than what it originally was. So you guys might be shook at this pickle rating, but I like it. I like Annabelle, the Annabelle movies inside the Conjuring Universe. I enjoy them a lot. So, I mean, sue me. As far as themes, I'm not seeing any big themes here. I mean, maybe there's a little commentary theme with the woman at the end taking the bullet, you could say, for by jumping out the window with Annabelle, which I think is a little strange that character came in. And she also added some cliche, because she was the librarian, in the way for them to do library research, which is the OG cliche way to find out the plot of the movie, is by going to the library and just somehow magically that library has the exact information that you need. So, that's just, that's silly. But but I love it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta like that cliche, but if I had to pick a favorite moment here in this movie, it's probably gonna be when, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna go, I'm a lore whore. Oh my gosh, that's a good merch idea. I'm gonna get a shirt. Bro, hey, would y'all buy this, bro? Let me know. Lore whore down here, you know, lore whore. I'm a whore for lore, okay? Or horror movie lore whore. Lore horror whore. You know, we're working on the design, okay? But yeah, my favorite's at the end when, you know, we have it connecting the Conjuring franchise with Ed and Lorraine interviewing these teenagers who were the people who got it after they were able to get rid of this doll, and a girl's mom had got it as a gift for her. That's my favorite part because I love lore. I'm a lore whore. What can I say? Now, my least favorite moment is probably going to be the woman who comes in and is kind of strange and ends up taking the bullet for Mia, which I don't think would happen. But the only thing I liked about her character was, yeah, she was meant to be nice, but also they had made us kind of afraid of her. It kind of felt like a Rosemary's Baby situation where she was like, kind of had too much interest into Mia and her daughter, but then at the end we saw she was a good person and just cared for them. But it was kind of interesting where we were kind of checking her out from the side, kind of side-eyeing her, seeing what she was doing. But yeah, that's my least favorite moment, I'd say. I do like this movie. I think it holds up pretty great within the franchise. I do like all the Annabelle movies, so it's going to be up there, at least middle to upper tier in this universe. And I think it holds up in horror. Some people say it doesn't. Some people also give it a 28% Rotten Tomatoes. But hey, okay, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? I like this movie. I think it holds up. I think it's great, and I think it gets too much hate. Get ready for this. My pickle rating overall, I think this movie is way better than people make it out to be. And I give it 4 out of 5 pickles. Yeah, that's right. I give it 4 out of 5 pickles. And I'm putting my pickle in this thing every time. But Annabelle, don't watch. I said it. 4 out of 5 pickles. Shout out Annabelle. Let's get it. Boom. Let me know what y'all think about this movie down in the comments below. Do I overly love this movie? Do I love it too much? Do you guys hate it? What are your thoughts on this? Is there anyone else who's with me on this movie? Is there anyone else out there who's with me? Drop in the chat. You know, we need to have a coffee date and talk about how good this movie is, and we need to go on strike about how people hate on it too much because I like this movie, okay? I'm going to tear up because this movie gets hated on for no reason. This movie gets bullied when it's good. But hey, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or you will see Annabelle inside your house after you've thrown it in the trash 1,000 times. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Peace!